Hello friends, now let us take up the concept number 1, 19.1, Streams Introduction. As you know, regardless of the programming language, every program performs three types of operations, three types of core operations. They are IPO, input, process and output. In that, IO represents input and output operations. These are very core. Every programming language provide a set of functions for performing input and output operations. For example, in C, you can mainly find a scanf function for performing input operation and printf function for performing output operations. Apart from that, a set of functions are being provided in the name of formatted IO functions, unformatted IO functions. For example, getC, getChar, putC, putChar, etc. and all that. Being a object-oriented programming language, Java cannot use functions directly. Functions means in the context of Java, we call them as methods. Methods are part and parcel of the classes. Many times I gave you this example. Your heart is part of your body. It is a function. It cannot work outside. That means as a part of your entity, your heart will work. In the same manner, in object-oriented programming languages, via an object or via a class only a method will work. So, here we do not talk about methods independently. With the reference to a class only, we talk about methods. So, there are many input devices as well as output devices. Input devices like keyboard, disk, internet connection, etc. are input devices. As far as the output devices are concerned, monitor, screen, printer, etc. So, for all of them, a specialized type of methods are being provided. Java is also not an exception, and for the purpose of performing input and output operations, Java provides a huge number of classes. Already I briefed why huge number of classes. However, I will explain it in detail little later. Okay, now let us talk about stream. Stream means in this context you must understand as a data stream. Why it is called as a stream? Actually, symbolically it is called as a stream. Now you see children play with the paper boats. Whenever rain comes, they put the boats like this in a stream. They flow like this. So, actually symbolically, whenever our characters are travelled, they flow like this. The characters in data streams flow like this. So, symbolically they name it as a stream, that you have to understand that. So, here in Java, as I told you already, everything is an object. Java is a true object oriented programming language. It can deal with only with objects, nothing else. That is why everything is an object. A file is an object, a stream is an object. So, here input streams and output streams. What is the purpose of input stream? Input stream allows data to pass from a input device to RAM. Input device to RAM. For example, keyboard to RAM. And output stream, what it does? from a RAM to an output device like a monitor screen or a printer, like that. So, we have to understand them as input stream and output stream. And one more thing you have to understand is, whenever we start a program, some standard streams are automatically, you need not do anything, automatically 3 standard streams are activated. Though 3 standard streams are system.in, system.out, system.r. By seeing this expression, you can understand that. What is that? What type of streams? These are static, because these are linked to a system class, linked to a class, system class. These are static elements. That's why we linked it. System.int represent Java input stream, and system.out represent Java output stream. System.r represents Java error stream. Actually, this is linked to input device automatically, and this is linked to by default it is linked to keyboard, and by default it linked to output device. The standard output device is monitor screen, standard input device is keyboard. System error, this is error stream, actually where errors are displayed. You know that whenever you commit an error, the error message, list of error messages are displayed on the monitor screen. So, this is also linked to monitor screen, that you have to understand that. For this purpose, you need not do anything. They are automatic. Whenever you start a program, these standard streams are automatically activated, and every operating system allows you to redirect. Actually, by default it is connected to keyboard, by default it is connected to monitor screen, by default it is connected to monitor screen. If you want to allow them to connect to some other device, that is called redirection. Every operating system allows that. That point you have to understand. Thereafter, now every time I am telling you, huge number of classes. Actually, there is a special package in Java, that is Java IO package. Java IO package contains 70 classes and 12 interfaces. Actually, why this much? And you have to analytically study. The basic reason is 1 has become 2. Why 1 has become 2? Where 1 class is required, one stream class is required, you have to create 2 stream classes, because of the basic nature of streams. Those are unidirectional. Unidirectional means you take it as one-way traffic. So, for input streams, you have to create a separate set of classes. For output devices, you have to create another set of classes. That is why where 1 class is required, you must create 2 classes. Okay. Next, that is one of the reasons. Second one is logical. Actually, all elements are not alike. Characters means, by composition of characters we form text. Text is having a separate nature, but remaining data is having different nature. Remaining data, for non-character data, the thing is, the basic unit is byte. Those are the basic unit of data is a byte. So, they flow in the form of bytes. They are treated as bytes. So, but as far as characters are concerned, especially Java characters, Java uses Unicode character. Actually, C uses ASCII character. This is 1 byte. Actually, 7 bits only, not but 7 bits are accommodated in 1 byte. That is why, what is the size of Java C character means, we tell 1 byte. Java uses Unicode character, it is 2 bytes. Its nature is different. And one more thing you have to understand is, as far as text is concerned, line breakers, etc., some special features are required. It is not like other data. That is why what is required for character's sake, different streams are required. Non-character's sake, let us call them as byte, and character's sake, different streams are required. So, basically, where one is required, it has become 4. Those are byte input streams. That means non-character data. Next, byte output streams, and character input streams, and character output streams. For representing all of them, different classes are created, and that is not the end. In order to improve the efficiency of the I/O operations, customization, every type of element, new set of classes are created. For arrays, separate set of classes. For strings, separate set of classes. For improving efficiency, buffered classes. For changing characters to byte, different set of classes. For objects, objects means nothing but complex variables. For them, different input output set of classes. Because of all this, huge number of classes are required. Because of presence of huge number of classes, Java I/O operations are performed very efficiently. But one limitation is, being a student, you have to study big number of classes, whereas in C++ you study small number of classes. But here you have to study a big number of classes, but I will tell you certain techniques. By that you can study them very easily and remember them.